don't think y'all understand how bad it's getting here in Pennsylvania because of our state Senate. It's so bad that the city of Philadelphia just had to lease their entire subway system to a sports betting app for one day because of the chaos they knew would happen if Philadelphia Eagles fans couldn't make it to the game. Today is the home opener for the Philadelphia Eagles. We don't have a working subway system. Our state budget's been tied up due to one guy. His name's Joe Pittman. And he's got a little assistant from Northeast Philly named Joe Picozzi. I didn't forget about you, Joe, too. Those two idiots have been not showing up for work for 6 months. For 6 months, the state Senate, the state House, everybody's been arguing over this budget, and a big part of it has been funding public transportation like the subway in Philadelphia. And so because of that, we were looking at a situation where they were telling people to not tailgate. They were telling people, hey, if you can't carpool, don't come to the game. We're the world champions.
Promania shed light on a direct infusion of how politics and sports mesh.
I just was over in the House for the joint session. I'm really excited about a lot of the young leaders we have over there and their majority caucus, which is a different majority than mine. I was talking to Tom and Brown, and they saying, like, look, you're in the majority, I'm in the majority, the Eagles are in the playoffs, let's get it done for Philly.
Joe Picozzi, one of the names mentioned by Pearlmania, is this man right here.
To the gentleman from Philadelphia who talked about how transit money, now the first gentleman from Philadelphia, who talked about how transit money is going to roads, now you know how we felt back in November when the governor absconded $153 million from road projects and put it into transit. Now you know how we felt 15 years ago when Governor Rendell took road money and put it into transit. Doesn't feel so good, does it?
And Joe Pittman, another mention, is the dude y'all see on your screens. Pittman is the leader of the Republican Senate in the state of Pennsylvania. Now let's address his point about a certain sports betting app pretty much cosplaying as heroes because of what politicians have done to the city of Philadelphia. Fan Duel stepped in to restore transit and pay for fares home from the South Philadelphia Sports Complex on Thursday, as a state funding battle has led the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority, or Septa, the local transit agency, to implement massive service cuts, wrote The Athletic. But let's also be very clear about this, okay? This is self-induced by Republicans who are just pretty much wishing and hoping and praying that none of the electorate pays attention to any of this.
For the last 3 years, we've been having a problem with the budget because every time the budget comes up, the Republicans have to get and claw their way back to get the little things that they want or to get out the things that the Democrats put into it. The Republicans have proposed a sort of bill to fund Septa. And the Republicans have essentially said, okay, you want Septa funding? You're going to take the surplus. And now why are they saying surplus? It's not really a surplus. What it is it's just the money that's not been allocated to capital projects that have come along yet, but they are on the horizon. And currently, the funding that actually needs to go out is for the Silverliner 6s because our 50-year-old trains, the Silverliner 4s, have been catching on fires. And so why do these Republicans care so much about owning the city at this point? It's because they're scared. On the horizon, the rural parts of Pennsylvania are emptying out. Only the cities like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and Harrisburg and Lancaster are growing. And you know what that means? That means not too far on the horizon, they are going to lose seats. This is one of the last years that they can possibly get something in the budget.
The Philadelphia Inquirer wrote of a teacher waiting nearly an hour and a half and being over an hour late to her job. A single mother was forced to take 2 buses to get to her cleaning company gig. One teenager had their bus route scrapped entirely, so they walked 40 minutes just to get to school. I have one question for everybody that voted a certain way and continues to vote a certain way. Are we great yet? Do we embody greatness? I mean, Other countries do not do this. In sports, they keep ticket prices down. Thus, you see so many passionate fans and the games being raucous atmospheres. And they don't cut public transit, at least not to this degree, where people are late for their jobs.
This fix came at the last second. For $100,000, a sports betting app stepped in and they're going to fund the subway for 1 day. For 1 day for football. But when it comes to going to work, when it comes to getting to the hospital, when it comes to just trying to exist, go to the grocery store, your transportation on that, Joe Pittman doesn't give a because Joe Pittman and Joe Picozzi have never had real jobs.
Defectors Catherine Zhu wrote, the home opener comes 11 days after Septa, the Philly metro area's primary public transit system, underwent its first set of service cuts as Pennsylvania Senate Republicans continued to block the agency from receiving necessary funding. The cuts included reduced bus service, metro frequency, and the elimination of special services like the Sports Express line, which ran extra trains after the games. She'd add, after a court order, Septa has placed its planned September fare increase and commuter rail service cuts on hold due to those changes disproportionately affecting marginalized groups. That does not fund those services, nor does it change the cuts that went into place already on August the 24th. An estimated 52,000 students rely on Septa to get to school. Early data showed that 63% of Philly schools saw an increase in late arrivals, and 53% had more absent students. All right, so a few quick notes. Number one, I spoke with a journalist who specializes in how the car industry has just completely wrecked the United States of America, from Los Angeles all the way down to other markets within the country. And it is basically because of lobbying. It's because some politicians, yesteryears, truly cared and thought that the best way to go forward was simply to invest in roads instead of public transit, and others just didn't even care, okay? And when they decided to carve out all of these highways straight through neighborhoods, I mean, Houston has been decimated because of highway constructions. Other towns in major cities have had highways go through the major city. Recently, one town, it's in New York. It starts with an R. I'm very sorry. They decided to take out the highway. And they're actually building apartment complexes and houses and restaurants and main streets, etc., so they could revitalize the neighborhood. I keep thinking of Rockford. It's not Rockford because that's in Illinois, but it starts with an R. I'm blanking. Terrible blank right now. Basically, the point is, throughout history, the United States has cared about the car. And we as consumers have been sold how the car is a great way to blow off steam, and it's a great way to be independent, and it's a great way to live the American dream, to own a car, when really the American dream is having public transit that will run. It was called City Limits, by the way. Please go check it out. And I interviewed her on my podcast, youtube.com/@the-Rick-Strom-Show. Really, what the American dream is the ability to take public transit and not pay anything at all, if not $1, and you can get anywhere in your town. Anywhere. Los Angeles is doing this right now because they have to get ready for the Olympics. That's the only reason. And even then, it is not going to be sufficient enough to get around a humongous city like LA. But they're trying. Will it be successful, again, to get from point A to point B where you want to go? It depends. But in the grand scheme of things, no, I don't think it'll work. However, as I am looking at Philadelphia, and I came across this TikTok and I started looking into it and started researching it for all of y'all, What just drives me crazy is how there's so many bad faith actors in public office who intentionally do this stuff while likely taking campaign donations, which in my opinion is just a form of bribery, in order for them to make these cuts and try and either boost the car industry or boost another industry just so we can suffer a little bit more. I mean, this is devastating, and more Eagles fans should know about this. Because it's not just affecting Eagles fans. Of course, it's affecting everyone else in their everyday lives. How are so many people going to get around if the bus doesn't run on time, or if the train doesn't run on time, or if your route is completely canceled? I mean, that is a scandal. And yet I don't see a lot of people blaming the folks that Promania did. So just kind of drives me crazy. If you are in Philly, I'm sorry.